Oh, it's so good.
Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
To stayfhomekins.
To Stayfhomekins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I'm a comedian.
I'm an actress.
We are married.
We live in Los Angeles and we're staying home together.
That's right. We're doing a quarantine podcast still.
I mean, are we still quarantining? I mean, is it like, it's like we're staying at home.
Yeah, what do we call this exactly?
I call it more staying at home if you can't, like, opting out of society.
Hey, we're on the grid. We are just keeping to ourselves. We love the grid. We love the grid, don't we, folks?
Wait, did you take our photo for Instagram?
No, I didn't. You want me to do it now? We've never done it live before.
Oh, my God. We were just jamming out to some Dolly Parton.
Now, this is a hilarious thing that happened to us. This is married life, guys.
No, this is middle-aged life.
All right.
Because we had the same conversation. We had the same identical. We had the same identical conversation, months apart.
Where's your drink?
It's here.
Well, move it so I can see it, honey. Put it on the corner of the thing.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Do you see what I live with? It's like my Instagram.
Do you see what I live with, everybody? Can you hear me?
I mean, this is why you're not my Instagram husband.
Wait, because I'm so good at composition? So we hear this song called Traveling Prayer.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is good. It's by Dolly Parton.
But
right?
it's a cover.
It's a cover. Dolly Parton's covering it. It's great. We're thinking, this is an awesome song.
Such a familiar song. Like, we know all the words.
We know this song. Where does it come from? And I was like, oh, you know what? I think it's Mike Nesmith. I think he wrote this because he wrote some sort of country songs for the Monkees.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Well, they're there.
Well, I'm going to look them up after this.
You should. And we looked it up, and it turns out it was Billy Joel. And guess what? We've done this before.
Like literally like 3 months ago. I was like, who sang this first?
Although the Mike Nesmith thing was a new wrinkle.
That was a new.
Is this? Are we living in Bly Manor, do you think?
I don't know. I do
We're
know.
dream hopping.
I do know that if you're like confined, your brain can deteriorate. Like,
yeah.
There's like brain plasticity and stuff.
Proof of that.
Like
brain elasticity.
Elasticity.
See, it's happening.
Here's the thing,
You
y'all.
went to the doctor and said my brain's losing plastic.
I mean, why not? What simulation are we in? I'm on my week. Okay, so we tried to start.
If this is a simulation,
yeah.
does that mean that there is like Matrix style, there's a real existence somewhere else? Like, what about all the boring shit that happens?
I don't know. I know this came up on the podcast before, or it was on another podcast I was on.
Perhaps.
Did anybody else read this book when they were a kid called
Dianetics?
That was for school.
Got your textbook of Dianetics.
It was called, I know that, I swear, this is like the Billy Joel thing. I'm saying the same things over and over again. If you just say, we have newcomers to the podcast.
Welcome.
And they'll be like, I just binged everything. I'm all caught up. And I'm like, oh, now they know that we're just recycling conversation. So I
think we're pretty good about that. I don't think we do.
Okay,
it too
so
much.
I'm about to bring something up that I think I've brought.
That's also, hey, welcome to podcasting. You know what I mean?
Okay. It is called Alan Mendelsohn, The Boy from Mars. Did anyone read that?
I've heard of it, never read it.
I think there's simulations involved.
Nice long pull.
Pull off my weekend
drink.
Okay, so anyway, it was like, I really liked it when I read it, but as I said before, I was a kid, so I can't speak to whether or not it holds up or not.
Right.
But it had like a whole thing, like an alternate universe situation.
Shit. This was for school. You read this?
No.
This was for pleasure.
I just read for fun a lot.
Okay.
So,
I'm not saying did you ever.
But I hated reading for school.
Sure.
I hated it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is why.
Fucking who loves reading Ethan Frome?
I didn't read that shit. There's a
missed
lot
anything.
I didn't read and faked through.
Sure, absolutely.
Do you think I read the Red Badge of Courage? Because I got news for my 7th grade teacher.
Oh shit! This is
what's
the statute of limitations?
I did not read the Red Badge of Courage.
You're already off the
By
rails.
the way, it is so hot here. Here's what happened. Okay, so I got like
Here's the story, everyone. Buckle in.
I got a little wild hair, and I was like, I think we had to go to the store today, all masked and distanced. Had to go pick up some supplies.
Yes.
And so I'm grabbing stuff left and right at the grow. And
she was like a supermarket sweep, this chick.
I was like, you get in, you get out, you da-da-da. And I was like, I got this wild hair, and I was like, I saw this ginger beer, and I was like, I'm going to have me a Moscow Mule. That's what I'm going to have me tonight.
That's right, because you're a Russian bot.
Tonight. Giuliani told me to do it. Someone told him. I don't know.
Did you see, I just saw a thing on Twitter where they acquired these, texts from Joe Biden to Hunter Biden.
I saw that right before we were, starting, so I didn't have a full grasp.
They're, the sweetest thing in the world.
And they're like, this pussy.
It's like, look at this guy. He's an addict. And the texts are like, Dad, I'm sorry I let you down and I'm hurting your campaign. And Joe Biden saying, I love you, my beautiful son. and Giuliani's like, look at this.
Do you want a dad like this? Because vote for us instead. Giuliani's daughter has endorsed Biden. Of course,
I heard, yeah.
She endorsed Hillary in 2016.
Yeah, it's not her fault who her dad is.
It's nobody's fault.
It's
who your family is.
That's a good point.
I'm saying you can't choose your family.
It is the parents' fault.
Well, because they brought you. I'm just saying you don't choose your blood relatives.
Exactly. Proof that we're in a simulation.
Anyway, so I was like, I'll get this Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
I'll get this ginger beer. So I mixed it up with the vodka. No, it didn't work out.
No, that ginger beer was strong.
Oh, here's the thing. It was kind of like trying to be like a Blenheim's. I don't know if y'all know Blenheim's. It's like this ginger ale from South Carolina where I'm from. And
I don't know. Do you know Blenheim's?
It's really hot.
I don't know if you know Blenheim's. It's a hot ginger ale.
It burns your
from South
mouth.
Carolina.
It burns your mouth and it's good.
Yeah.
But this was like some fake ass Blenheim's. And it didn't work out with the vodka. And I was like, no. So I just went back to regular old soda.
Do you think what is it always ginger beer that goes in a Moscow Mule?
I believe it is ginger beer. Yes, ginger beer.
Is ginger ale not a substitute?
I don't think so. And then chipped ice in a copper thing. And I was just doing regular ice in a glass because I'm not a full service.
We do have some copper mugs. Not
I
copper,
think
but
we did get a tin, a copper.
We have tin mugs that are that's.
For
I think
Moscow
that's when you
mules.
make a Kentucky Mule. I think that's called a Kentucky Mule.
With what? Ginger ale?
I think there's a variant of the Moscow Mule called the Kentucky Mule that you can serve in a tin cup.
Here's the thing, y'all.
But I forget what the ingredient.
We're not cocktail literate.
Hey, guess what? Whoever told you that this was a cocktail podcast was lying.
We don't know. I like to go out and be like, oh, I'll try this fancy thing or whatever. I cannot replicate. That is not my thing.
Fuck no, we're not those people.
And half the time, I don't like any sugar in my stuff.
That's why those things are kept other places. That's a reason for us to leave here. Now,
I don't drink high sugar stuff.
Should we have explored craft cocktails during this time? That would have been a big mistake.
What? Just more calories. I mean, I've been packing on the pounds this entire pandemic.
Oh, me too. I'm the heaviest I've ever been.
I'm not the heaviest I've ever been, but
get on my level.
No, see, here's something I don't know our listeners know, but I actually did get a little heavy. And then last year I went on sort of a health journey. And through that journey, I ended up losing over 20 pounds. So I got right with myself or whatever. So, but also, you know, Hashimoto's, blah, blah, blah. Like I got on thyroid, whatever. So that was like a whole situation where I was really not, you know, my body wasn't working for me. Anyway, so I did that last year and I was feeling pretty healthy. And then when the pandemic hit, like it was like off the rails.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard.
It's been like a combination of comfort eating and stress eating.
Yes. Now, can I throw into this mix for me personally?
What?
Depression eating.
I haven't
different thing.
I haven't gotten there yet, thankfully.
I gotta figure out something to do because my gym is open, but I can't imagine.
Yeah.
That just seems like asking for trouble.
Well, we do. I mean, we are.
It's dry. It's nothing but droplets all over the place.
We're fortunate that we live in Southern California and we can take advantage of the outdoors. Although we did take a walk today and it was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
I almost passed out. I was like, "Is that
Silver Lake Reservoir?"
It was like 96 degrees or whatever. But like, I don't know. I mean, I understand. Yeah, and I used to go to like a yoga studio and stuff, and now I do stuff on YouTube. By the way, I should plug my little YouTube yoga.
Sure.
I love Fight Master Yoga on YouTube. She's fantastic, Leslie Fight Master.
Leslie Fight Master.
Yeah.
Now that can't. Where's that name coming from?
Well, it's funny because I mentioned it to Ben Acker, and he was like, "I know someone named such and such fight." He's like had a friend with that last name, and I was like, maybe they're related, and they weren't.
That's very weird.
Is it like, I don't know, like was it a designated name, like people who fight?
like Smith used to mean blacksmith?
Yeah.
Like that?
That's what Haddad means. Did you know that?
I did know
Arabic
that.
for blacksmith or smith.
Yeah.
It's common, very common Arabic.
I'm going to ask you to move the mic away from your mouth just a little bit.
Jesus. Guess everyone's getting to know how the sausage gets made.
But see how I have mine?
Here's the thing about being a human being.
Oh, tell me. I'm the boy from Mars. I'd love to know.
Everyone's different. Everyone has different approaches. Everyone has different values. Everyone has different life experiences.
Spoken like a true NPC.
What is that?
Non-playing character. That's the thing that the people on the right like to call people.
Oh. Is that what I am?
Honey, that is not what you are.
I don't care. People who call people names, like, what is that? What is your wound?
It's so funny because
like, what is that?
You do see it on Twitter where it's like all of a sudden everyone is using this term, this like derisive term, and people latch onto it
The
so
NPC
quickly.
thing, you mean?
Yeah, that or other. There's been other things in the past. Cuck, when people were calling everybody a cuck all the time, and then I guess they don't do that so much anymore. It's fucking ridiculous.
I don't understand what that dopamine hit is to your neurons or whatever.
I mean,
your
I guess
brain.
if you are not somebody who is great at thinking up your own stuff, it is great to have a sort of a phrase book that you can use and feel like you're really sticking it to somebody.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Well, what's funny to me is always the insult that is only an insult within that community. So it's like, well, I don't know what that is. You're calling me like, you can call me a cuck all you want. Like, it doesn't do anything.
Like, I've been called snowflake before. Not in a long time.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's like that doesn't hurt my feelings or make me feel bad. Like, that's a thing that you decided was a bad thing to call someone.
Called like latte liberal or
well, that makes my blood boil.
Limousine liberal, which is funny to me.
Did somebody call you a limousine liberal?
Sure.
This is exciting. I've never been called one.
But what's funny is I don't drive a limousine. So the joke's on you.
Do you think that they're accusing you of being the driver of the limousine?
I don't know.
They're implying that you
I'm
sit
a rich,
in the back of a limousine.
I'm a rich ass you know.
Yes, you're a rich bitch who doesn't
I'm a
care.
rich bitch who espouses, who I'm only in it for the culture wars.
That's
I don't care
right.
about policies.
But you're not going to take refugees into your home.
Right. Right.
They're not going to be invited into your
rich
limousine.
Rich bitch.
You're just a rich bitch.
I'm just a rich bitch that is in my blue bubble. I'll probably see Ron Howard's Hillbilly Elegy on opening night.
Oh, dear. Is that a theatrical release or is that a...
I don't know. Nothing's theatrical, is it? Tenet, that was it.
Tenet? I think there was something else with... Because certain other parts of the world have... I think in London, they just had the Prince Charles Theater just reopened, I believe. Or it's about to.
But they're getting they're resurging in Europe. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. Look, I didn't tell them to do it.
So I don't think it's going to be open.
I mounted a letter writing campaign
that
to the
much
Queen.
Longer. Here's the thing about name calling.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, it's done. It's over. Like, it's not, there's no sparkle to it anymore. You know, I think it's done.
You know, it was great for a while.
I feel like in the previous decade, sure, it was fun for a little while.
What?
Well, now you're like getting into like we're in the 20s. We're head first into the 20s now. So, I think it's.
What were some of the great name calls that from the previous decade that we all enjoyed so much?
Oh my God! We just went through them all. Cuck, snowflake, limousine, liberal, latte.
But you're saying, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying 10 years ago we went through a place where name calling was a lot of fun.
No, I'm saying
over the past 10 years.
The decade of that
I get it
form
now.
of communication
I see what you're saying.
Is
I get it.
Caveman level now.
Yeah, it's
Neanderthal.
No, it's always been stupid. Let me change the subject.
Oh, okay. Not into this one.
I feel like we explored it.
All right, I'm ready.
So today in the mail, we got an envelope from my cousin Joan.
Oh, yes.
Back in Philly.
Very sweet cousin Joan.
Joan, she's one of the best people that I've ever known. She's a wonderful person. And she wrote us a letter saying how much she loved the podcast.
I know. That was a pleasant surprise.
Yes. And she sent us a couple masks.
I
which is really
know.
nice. I'll make sure I put a picture of the masks.
Okay.
But I was reminded, like this was back in March.
Okay.
When everything was really intense, really intense, and we were like, "What's happening?" And we were all staying inside. And she's a nurse, and so I texted her and said, "Hey, I've been thinking of you. I hope you're doing okay during all this, and I want you to know that I admire you so much." Mm-hmm. And she wrote back, "Ditto."
Aww.
And I was like, "Oh, that's so wonderful." And she said, "You're in such a bad place too." And I was like, "Huh." All your students you are in charge of. We do the best we can, right? And then I realized she's talking to the wrong person.
You don't have any students?
And she wrote, she went on. I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's very nice. Then she wrote, "Oops. So sorry. I was talking to Patrick, her brother, and I got hit the wrong stream." And at first I felt like, you know what? I am
she's
admirable
like
for
looking out
being
for
an entertainer.
Yeah.
Who can't entertain people right now? But Patrick is a teacher. Funny. Yeah. But yeah, that really made me laugh.
Shout out to the teachers. A lot of teachers listen to us.
Shout out to the teachers. Shout out to the nurses.
The nurses, we've heard from essential workers, and
yes,
it's awesome.
Yeah. And shout out to Joan. I love you.
Shout out to Joan. Thank you for the masks. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
So what else is going on? I'm getting a COVID test tomorrow morning.
That's right. You're doing a commercial.
Yeah. Okay. So here's something funny. I booked a commercial like yesterday or whatever. And I have not attended an audition in person since early March. So everything has been either like a pre-tape I do at home with Paul. He loves helping me with the audition tapes. Or one time Joel had to FaceTime the lines because you were not around.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm taping myself. Or like through Zoom or Blue Jeans, which you've mentioned before that my friend.
Blue Jeans.
Because my friend Catherine calls it Blue Janies. But so anyway.
Just wear your dungarees.
So, and I was like, is this even real? Like this whole system, this new system, is it even real? And then it was like, oh yeah, you're working on set next week and you have to go to a drive-through COVID tomorrow, which is fine. I'm glad that is the protocol for this job because that means they are actually taking it seriously.
Yes. Now, do you think at the drive-through COVID, there's going to be like cute girls on roller skates?
I'm going to get a
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
A chocolate shake. And then I'm going to sneeze on a Q-tip.
Sneeze on a Q-tip?
I don't know what kind of COVID test.
Is that one? No, I've never heard of that one.
No, that's not one.
I like that, though. They make you sneeze. And you
not
you have to aim it at this Q-tip.
No, you drive through and you shove a Q-tip up your nose.
Now, you might get the brain toucher. You might get the spit test where you spit into a thing. And they're like, from what I understand, it's like, nope, more spit. You have to keep going.
I don't know that many people who've done the spit one.
I don't
seems
either.
like that's a unicorn COVID test.
Oh, look, we're all looking for that one.
They might take your blood even.
What? I have not heard of that.
Well, I guess that's if you're doing antibodies, not. I don't know. Not the dry. I don't know what I'm doing. I just had to fill out a form and it said nose or blood or something like that.
Nose or blood? What's it going to be?
So
what do you mean it said nose or blood?
That piece of paper right there said. I'm
not asking where it's written down. I'm saying, what does it mean?
Double rainbow.
What? Double rainbow. What does it mean?
That guy died.
I know.
You know what? I think he died this year, and I think it was like it was like one of the 2020 hits that kept on. Coming.
He had a nice life. He really appreciated things.
It says I'm authorizing testing for COVID-19 through a nasopharyngeal swab or blood draw.
Blood draw.
That's what it says.
I can't.
It's going to be nasopharyngeal. It's going to be nasopharyngeal.
But I mean, wait. Did you get to choose which one?
No, it's just I'm signing like I'm fine with any bodily fluids they want to take from me.
Honey, what if they make you a human centipede? I don't like this.
I didn't see that, thank God. Now you see them.
You didn't see where it says we also make you a human centipede.
Now you see where I crossed out my name because I put my first in the last box and my last in the first box.
I hate doing that.
And that is so embarrassing.
That is
now you see that.
I've done that. It's mortifying.
And then I don't just cross it out with a line. I do like those documents that look
government
redacted.
Yeah. Full on black box.
That's how I do.
That's
how I do though.
I absolutely hate doing that on some kind of official form. If I realize like, oh, I've been writing in the wrong box. I thought the address went above this line, not below the line. These things need to be uniform.
Yeah, I hate it. All right, so tell me more stuff about you.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Jesus Christ.
I've decorated for the holidays.
Oh, yes. You've gone all out.
I've gone all out. How do you feel about it?
I feel like okay with it because I feel like it's good for the neighborhood kids to have the situation going.
Somebody posted on Nextdoor today how much they appreciated that people were decorating for Halloween.
Oh, was it you under a fake
it
name?
Was me.
A fake name. What fake name did you use?
Tall pumpkins.
I think I'm good with it. I mean, we don't need more. Like more is coming every day is what is happening. Here's the thing. Paul and I like this show. at Christmas. I think we talked about it before on Twitter for sure.
We may have, yeah.
The Great Christmas Light Fight.
Yeah, you like it, I think, more than I do.
I love it. You like it.
I like it. My feeling is I just want to get to the end. I want to get to the part where we see all the fucking lights lit up. I don't want to interview these people for 20 minutes and find out, like how they got their tradition. They all sound kind of the same. They're all strange people. They're strange people.
Every now and then there's someone like super strange, and they're the best ones, in my opinion.
Agree to disagree.
Here's the thing with the Great Christmas Light. First of all, it's hosted by like a cute girl and a cute guy, and I'm every year I tweet, I'm like, guys, me and Paul are available.
That's right.
We could totally host the Great Christmas Light Fight, and I'm not trying to like kick them off the show or anything. I'm just saying like maybe they want to move on. Maybe they'll get like a bigger gig. Maybe like they don't want to be locked into the Great Christmas.
Well, here's the thing. We've done zero investigation, but they feel to me like they are people from another type of show like that also
no,
host
I think
this
they're
thing.
from like the Food Network or something.
Food Network? They wouldn't be on HGTV?
This is an ABC show.
Yeah.
You don't think that they own something underneath?
I'm sure they do, but I'm saying why would it be the Food Network?
I don't know. They're just like HGTV. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
because it's more home,
yes, and garden. We sent Nigella Lawson to judge these Christmas lights.
Well, all I know is okay. So like basically, if you've got to watch the Great Christmas Light Fight because it is like it only comes on once a year. It runs in December.
That's right. There's multiple episodes, but it's not it's not a year-round show.
And some people in the world, in America, they go all over America. Some people like, Cuckoo.
Hi, Cuckoo. If you didn't hear Cuckoo last week, it's because Cuckoo came out while we were recording an ad.
It was like people probably really they missed it. They missed out.
Sorry, guys. I know a lot of people. Cuckoo's like the fifth character.
Okay.
Well, New York is the fifth character. Cuckoo's like the sixth character.
Oh, we gotta talk about Emily and okay,
Oh,
but
sure.
anyway, there are some people who they have like such an extensive Christmas situation going on that they like I don't think they can like live in their house.
Yeah.
Like there's like one room that they maybe live in, and then they'll have like tours. Like people in the neighborhood look forward to our house every year
because they decorate the inside as well. Some people decorate the inside as well.
Yeah.
The ones remember the Mickey Mouse people?
Yeah. Well, ABC.
Yeah.
ABC.
But they did not just
really?
not just a crazy mess of Christmas, but Mickey Mouse Christmas, Disney Christmas. And it was like, don't decorate the bathroom.
Well, remember the one where they
you can put a candle in there.
Remember one where they had like all the Christmas trees? Like every area was all Christmas trees, and there was like a Christmas tree on the toilet.
Yes. On the tank. Like you could still use the toilet. It wasn't like coming up out of the bowl.
But here's what's funny about these families or homes that do this is there's zero irony. Like it is pure.
It's irony free.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It is like pure like intensity.
Yes.
Like there's no like sense of humor.
Yes.
Like sometimes they have cute like matching sweatshirts that are like, the Tompkinses or whatever, and it's like
They often have.
yeah.
But not with our name.
Yeah. But then it's like they really don't have there's no like irony or sardonic like it is like it's like we have to it's like every year comes around and there's a burning intensity of like this is our thing.
Yeah.
Like we do this and we start the day after this is our storage unit. We've been collecting this for like, and they're paying like thousands of dollars and like electric bills and stuff. And so the Great Christmas Light Fight, like it does have like a competition kind of element to the show.
Yeah, ultimately somebody wins the Great Christmas Light fight. I don't know that we've ever. I don't recall ever seeing that.
No, every episode someone wins.
Every episode somebody wins. Okay, all right. But then there's eventually
the final. I think they face off in the final. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we just watch
that? And I think they win like $50,000 or something, and it's probably barely covers the electric bill.
Oh my God, they're already in the hole so much from all the shit that they bought.
And it's like, I don't know, like sometimes, and then you're sitting on your couch. You're literally like sitting on your couch in fucking, extra stretchy pants, eating whatever. Like, I can't believe they used LED on that. Like what?
You do end up developing opinions about things. Like somebody who
the one episode where people use blow molds, and we've never heard that.
I was just going to say that. They said that the term blow mold so many times. We're like, what are they saying?
I know what the word was.
So I've been collecting blow molds for years, and we got blow mold here, blow mold there, blow mold there. What is he saying?
He was like New York or Jersey, so his accent was making it like blow mold, blow mold, blow mold, blow mold, blow mold. And then we were
like, does he not know the word, and he's trying to bullshit them?
Also, in the scheme of the Great Christmas Light fight, blow molds are the least impressive
exactly
tool.
If you're not familiar, blow molds are, of course, those molded plastic
they're like
things
1950.
that are lit
they're probably
from
like
within.
Covered in lead or like asbestos. I mean, I'm talking like this is probably not good to have around.
They are the most toxic Christmas decorations.
I'm not
you can
kidding.
Have.
It's like,
but they make new ones. They still make new ones. When last year when we discovered our Christmas lights, the
Wi-Fi ones.
The Wi-Fi lights. Game changer.
Paul got the Wi-Fi lights, and it was like,
they're called Twinkly. I highly recommend them.
You get an app.
Who told us about them? Was it Matt and Amanda?
It was Matt and Amanda.
Matt and Amanda.
I wasn't. Yeah, it was Matt and Amanda.
I think it was Matt and Amanda. Matanda. And because they're big Christmas heads.
Yeah.
And also big Halloween heads.
Oh, yeah. They have that like dinosaur skeleton thing in their yard.
Yes. They decorated their backyard. That made me put some lights up in the backyard, too. It's like, if you're going to be spending that much time out there, why not? Anyway.
Their yard blows our yard away, but that's a different situation.
That's a different situation. This is not the great yard fight. So
talk about keeping up with the Joneses.
We have a yard that is just a little bigger than the table that we have in the yard. And they're designing their yard like to mimic literally a national park.
Yeah, they have a big yard. They put in a pool, and they painted a shark on the bottom of their pool.
I hate them.
It's so much. It's way too nice. Like it's way too nice.
They have a beautiful home. Anyway, they told us about these lights, Twinkly, which are LED lights. They're smart lights like the Philips Hue lights or whatever that you control from your phone. There's a billion different settings and stuff like that. And I was so happy with them.
They're really nice.
They're really nice. And they were on sale. We went
downtown to that Christmas Emporium.
What the fuck is the name of that place?
Max's or something, or Maxine's or something. I don't know that place.
It's a weird name. I'd never heard of it. But it's essentially, it's like, it's a home craft store. And at Christmas, they have everything, and it's so much fun to walk around.
They have
there.
A giant martini glass. I made Paul take a picture of me with.
That was fun. I was a bit of an Instagram husband that day.
I was like, look at this giant martini glass, and then I posed for her.
But they had a more than life-size version of the snowman from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special.
Yeah. That place,
like bigger than life size. It's
like
kind
this
of
place
unnerving.
is huge.
Yeah,
like it's huge. Like there's 2 entrances.
Yes,
one on each different city block.
Yeah,
or whatever. And it is insane how much Christmas stuff is in there.
Yeah, and
I bet they have Halloween.
I went back after Christmas.
I know, and you bought more stuff on sale.
Lights got marked down further.
They went down like
70%
off or something.
But it really. We got some jingle bells for the door, like that you put on the doorknob, like stuff like that.
Anyway,
it's
so
fun.
My whole thing with Paul decorating, even though I have I'm a little bit more like, let's edit, because I feel like Paul is literally like one string of lights away from the Great Christmas Light fight.
Disagree.
That's my whole sort of.
Disagree.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
How long is the slide, though?
I'm telling you.
You're acting like
you get Wi-Fi.
This year.
You get 2 strings of Wi-Fi lights 1 year, and then the next year we're like, lined up for some cattle call audition.
Okay.
Now
I didn't want to have to do this. Who requested the candy cane lane?
I requested the candy cane lane, but I find that it's a tasteful rendering.
Of what?
Of Christmas salady. Christmas
salady?
Yes.
You think a candy cane lane,
yes,
which is 2 rows on either side of our walkway of candy canes.
Also,
lighted
there's
up
a practical reason. It gets darker earlier.
Very true.
You get Christmas cards. The mail delivery comes later. It is a lit pathway for our dear brothers and sisters in the United States Postal Service.
You're laying it on thick.
Because I don't want them to trip on our walkway. Okay.
I forgot how altruistic you were about that candy cane lane. You said, Paul, we need this for safety. I don't want our home to be a Christmas death trap.
I want a fake tree and Paul will not.
Man, that's hard. That's hard for me. That's very hard for me. Yeah, it is.
I'm getting another drink. This is too much.
Well, why don't we take a break? We're at break time.
Oh, we are?
Yes, we are. We're going to take a break.
We don't have a sponsor. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Literally.
We're back.
What are you laughing at?
Because you were like, you were laughing at me.
I said, because you sat down, you had your fresh drink.
Yeah, I got I freshened
I had my finger over the button to bring us back in.
Yeah.
I said, are you ready? And you said, almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a mystery as to what else needed to happen.
I had to center myself.
Right? And now you're centered.
So when do other people have to center themselves before they do something?
Honest answer, no.
Sometimes, really?
No.
Sometimes I have to kind of center myself and be like, okay.
Of course. Yes, I get that. Do other people ever take a moment? Or no? They just charge right in?
I hope people are doing okay out there. It's been an
17 hours and 14 days.
Since you went away.
Since you took your love away.
We were listening to Peace Train.
Oh, we were listening to Dolly Parton sing Peace Train.
Peace Train. All right, so yeah, it's been.
Turns out it was a Billy Joel song.
No, that one was James Taylor.
No, it was not. Are you serious right now?
It's not.
No, James Taylor. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
James Taylor never put that much energy into a song in his life.
What are you talking
Cat
about?
Stevens, honey. Yusuf
Oh my
Islam.
God, that's what I meant to say.
Well, you didn't say it. You said James Taylor, and everybody heard it.
When I said the words James and Taylor in my mind, I was saying cat. I was seeing.
That is always the weirdest thing.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I've had that. I've called people by the wrong name.
I do. I know.
And they've said, you said, why did you call me that? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you called me Victoria. And I was like, I have no recollection of doing that.
It's well, I think in a weird way, James Taylor and Cat Stevens are kind of similar to me in terms of style. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The ones that I think are most often confused are Jim Croce and Cat Stevens.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. I think because they maybe sort of looked alike even a little bit.
But okay, for real though.
And then throw Harry Chapin in there.
Well, we've already covered Harry Chapin.
We have.
Okay.
We're on the record with Harry Chapin.
For real though, Cat Stevens, is a zaddy. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly.
Didn't know you'd ever heard it.
I mean, like, he's like, I don't know, old, and like he like re-released like like he's like totally like 45 seeming.
You're saying he looks like he could be 45, but obviously he's much older.
That's what I'm trying to say. Am I not being clear?
I think you're being clear. I'm just clarifying for myself.
I'm saying like the guy is.
You're saying he looks good.
He's like the found. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Jesus. Let me see. I want to look him up and see what he looks like now.
He's like he's like doing like a re-release of his music under Yusuf Islam, like or something. I don't know. Like it's like a whole thing. He's like totally like killing it is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, I mean, have you this is your zaddy? This guy looks 45 to you? Did you see a picture of him when he was 45? But with today's date?
Let me try to like clarify. I'm saying maybe there's more of an essence.
To be fair.
More of an essence.
To be fair, he does look good.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He does look good. He does look good. I don't know if I'd look at this guy and say, he's got to be 45.
But he has an essence, though. He has a youthful, like, he was not.
Look how cute he was. He was a cutie pie.
No, he was pretty cute.
He was a cutie pie.
He was way cute. I'm just saying, like, I was, kind of surprised by how well he has entered into this chapter of his life.
My God.
This makes it sound like I've got something for God's
Yeah, it does.
But it
absolutely makes it sound like
literally have no. I really don't have a dog in this fight. I was just trying to.
What made you? How did we get here?
I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to pay the man a compliment, and it feels like it took on a life that was not really what it was.
You know who's hot? Cat Stevens. I don't really care.
No, my point was like he had a vitality to him.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
What? You got this from a still photo?
It was like I saw him interviewed.
Oh, okay. This sounds like a CBS Sunday Morning if ever I've heard one.
You know what? It does, doesn't it?
Why do they do that trumpet
I love
at
CBS.
the beginning of that show?
CBS Sunday Morning, and it's the bougiest thing on the planet, man. It is like so bouge. But you know, I'm into it.
I hated that show when I was a kid.
I liked it as a kid.
Oh, I hated it.
Okay, because I like Charles Osgood.
Sure.
Found out dude had like a wife and everything.
No, not Charles Osgood.
Oh, God, sorry.
It was the guy, who's the original host?
That's who I'm trying to talk about.
Now his
Kuralt.
name, Charles Kuralt, yes.
So I grew up on CBS anymore. Like, so Charles Kuralt, and he'd like get in
I did too, against my will.
His van, and he'd like go around the country, and he'd be like, we're going to find America and everything. And it was like awesome. And he'd like find America or whatever. Dude had a wife in every port.
He was a bigamist. He had several families.
He was
it's
a bigamist.
Wild. And
and then now you realize he pitched that to the head of CBS News so that he could keep an eye on all his different families.
And if you look at him, he
looks
last person
like
you would
your
suspect.
College professor.
Yes. Oh, it's such a wild story. It's such a wild story. And
totally
then,
crazy.
Ear-splitting trumpet.
This is crazy.
It begins with an ear-splitting trumpet. They talk to some people, a little bit of news, and then at the end there's a waterfall.
Well, yeah. And I object to some of their recent additions, their modernizations.
Like what?
Well, I didn't want to have to say it on the air.
Let's get it out there.
Okay, for a while they were doing this segment called The Fast Draw. These two dudes like edited together drawing like explaining something like I was a fucking child. And
I don't watch the show because I'm a kid. I watch it because I'm an old person. This is old people
You know what I'm
TV.
saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
I like my old people TV, and I don't want to be infantilized. So I fast forward through that.
You did call Cat Stevens daddy.
That's what happens when you watch CBS Sunday Morning.
Run me over with the peace trains, daddy.
I'm going to spit out my vodka.
Don't do it.
All right. I have to. This is going to be controversial.
Oh, here we go.
Sometimes Jim Gaffigan contributes.
Mm-hmm.
That's another fast forward for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, he's very funny.
He's very funny. I'm just saying it's not what I'm there for.
No, and here's the thing. Those humor pieces on CBS Sunday Morning, because they have to be appropriate for CBS Sunday Morning, they're not that funny.
That's why I like William Geist. He's appropriately goofy, like your uncle. Like he's like...
Yes, he travels around and he talks to the weirdos and he's like, "You're pretty weird, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm weird."
He gets in the mud with them, though.
Yes, he does.
He'll be like, "Oh, you love...
He's folksy.
You're
he's
into
folksy.
pie tins?" And then he's like holding both pie tins. Like,
Can you imagine if these had pies in them?
that's
the level of humor.
That's what I don't need a sophistication.
Exactly.
I don't need fast edits.
Exactly.
I don't need...
Well, that they still haven't done that.
The fast draw guys do that.
Well.
They haven't been on in a while. They may have heard maybe they looked at my suggestion.
Have you put this in the public forum?
It's possible.
Did you cancel the fast draw guys?
No, come on.
Are you the Hannibal Buress of the fast draw guys?
Buress. That's terrible because that means like they raped somebody.
Oh, honey!
Because
everybody got there. You didn't have to spell it out.
Wait a minute. The fast draw guys have not been Me Too'd. That is not what we're saying.
That's not our purpose here.
You know what my hope is? I hope they got a bigger gig somewhere else.
I hope so too. They're trying for fucking The Masked Singer. I don't know what's like. It's funny that it's hard to come up with a show that everybody watches.
This is the most niche comedic. This is the most niche. Because, like, do people out there watch CBS Sunday Morning? Am I the only person?
Under 70?
Under 70. I don't. A lot of Gen Xers watch it because they grew up with boomer parents like I did.
Yeah, but my parents were Greatest Generation. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
That's how dead they are. They're from a million years ago. They might as well have been from Narnia. They would watch, although it's funny, I did end up watching Meet the Press when Tim Russert was the host. I would watch Meet the Press every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And then I tried to watch it when David Gregory took over, and then I couldn't do it anymore.
Well, Tim Russert was so good at it.
Tim Russert was good. I wonder, that's how it was in my memory, but I wonder if by my standards today, I would still consider him. Here's the thing. What's really funny about Meet the Press is when they do like a way back minute where they're like, let's look at what it was like in black and white times. Mm-hmm. And in the old Meet the Press, it would be like 5 members of the press and 1 politician, as opposed to 1 member of the press and 5 politicians who get to say whatever the fuck they want.
And they just say the same stuff over and over.
And then the follow-up questions are like, really? Do you think that?
Well, yeah, something, I guess, changed. Probably 24-hour news cycle changed
it's the access thing.
The way that
they want to have that. They don't want to. Nobody wants to go on a show where they're going to get grilled. So I think that's why it changed where it's like, we'll let you come on here and say whatever the fuck you want. And that means you're on the record as having said it.
Right.
And then people can make, like David Gregory famously once said, hey, people are welcome to do their own research. And it's like, why are you a show then? What's the point of you?
I know.
Would you like to know more about whether or not this guy's lying? Go to your local library.
I mean, like, to even get, like, politicians to say anything real in the moment anymore is so hard.
Yes. Isn't that true?
I mean, unless...
These liars.
Although, I've been getting a kick out of, in the past couple weeks, Pete Buttigieg going on Fox News. Because I kind of liked Pete Buttigieg in their primaries. I was actually an early Pete adopter.
Yes.
And
I was never a fan.
Paul, like, kept trying to talk me out of him, and now I kind of feel like in your face a little because he was way back when talking about things that are being talked about now.
Yes, but in the middle,
he
was talking about a lot of other stuff.
He centralized in the middle of that to try to compete with.
Look, we're not going to litigate Pete Buttigieg. I was not a fan. But it is funny that he goes on Fox News, and because I guess like maybe nobody else is willing to. Nobody else says yes,
right?
And so he gets on there and he just like confronts them on bullshit, and they don't. They're sort of taken aback by it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like confront them on bullshit as much as he's just like. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, he just, like, lays down an intellectual sort of argument for something.
He keeps his head above water with them, yes.
Yeah, that they can't, like, really combat or compete with because that's not how they're approaching pushing their views. They don't approach pushing their views in the way that he approaches spreading his views.
Right.
The way he approaches spreading his views is just being very, like, intelligent and honest and coming from a place of like
he's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
But
so you thought he was like playing the game or something.
He was playing politics so much and I think like trying to do like an Obama kind of thing and he said he had a lot of platitudes and you know he just went further and further I think into the center and it was sort of like I don't get there's nothing here for me, you know.
Right. It was sort of it was I don't know. It was an interesting primary season with all of the people.
It was. Also he was a young guy who'd just been a mayor and he had some problems back in the town where he was a mayor that were troubling and you know
I agree.
Anyway, who cares?
I agree. He wasn't. No one was a perfect. I didn't think anyone was even the most perfect. To me, in a way, like I mean, I did want to see a woman. I ended up voting. I don't need to say who I ended up voting for, but like the most perfect for me didn't present well, or someone who presented well didn't have the like no one had all the boxes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
Like I was really into Julian Castro, and he didn't push himself out in front of the others.
Yeah,
you know, and I think he's like freaking awesome.
I like him. I do like him.
He's freaking awesome.
I would have liked. I voted for Bernie. I voted for Warren, and it didn't happen. And you know, I felt like it was time to kind of swing for the fences. You know, look, we both just voted. We voted for Biden. I was not psyched about it, you know, but I'm
psyched about it because I'm done with what we got.
Well, yes. You understand what I'm saying, though.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, also, like, you know, it's going to be a different atmosphere, too, if the election turns out to flip the Senate.
I know.
That's going to be a different atmosphere. Like, it's not even going to matter, really. Like, stuff's, you know.
I know. It's bumming me out.
Why is it bumming you out?
Just all of politics right now. It's like we have this race that's happening right now for city council between this really terrific candidate Nithya Raman, who's running to unseat this guy David Rue, who is not a good guy. And not just politically, but personally, there's a lot of problems with this guy. Mm-hmm. And Nithya Raman is a very progressive candidate. Mm-hmm. And she's really smart. And, I always think it's weird to be a fan of a politician.
I do too.
Like, that's strange.
I do too.
And it's like, you shouldn't let yourself. I think you are opening yourself up to something if you let yourself be a fan of someone who's in politics. I
totally agree, because they work for us.
Yes.
They
exactly.
are not like, we're not.
And they're also politicians. You know what I mean?
And they have, and it doesn't matter how pure your politician is. Like, if you're like, oh my gosh, I love this one politician, they're so progressive and this and that, they're going to have to cut deals to get stuff done for their district, and you're not going to like it.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, they betrayed us.
Yeah.
And then then all of a sudden you're sour, as opposed to looking at it like, look, these people are civil servants. We need to like tell them what it is we need in our community. That's,
Well, we also need to, it's all
we also need to what? Get rid of the electoral college.
Well, we do need to do that, but that's not. I was going to say that you gotta. It starts locally, and you have to get better people in from the ground up.
So you're bummed about that race, but what's funny
I'm bummed about. Here's why I'm bummed about that race.
We're not in that race.
That's why I'm bummed about it.
Well, that's just where we live.
I'm bummed about it because
district.
I know. I don't. Oh, I feel.
You want to move to her district?
No, I don't want to. No.
You're bummed about it
Here's what's weird. I'm bummed about it because I'm afraid she's not going to win. Her district is such a huge district. It's weird that we're not in it. We're so close to it. We're on the edge of it. Uh-huh. Just about everybody we know in various neighborhoods is in her district.
Sure.
It's wild. It's a gigantic district. I'm just bummed about it because it feels very hard to make progress. It feels very hard to make progress right now.
I will give you something not to be bummed about.
Okay.
This election has already...
I also don't like talking about politics on the show.
Oh.
It makes me feel weird. I feel very self-conscious.
Okay. Because people get freaked out, and then they come after you, and they're like, David Rue.
I'm not worried about that.
You stupid neo-lib. Neo-lib.
No, I'm not worried about that. It's that, we're just us. We're just people. We're just fellow citizens. We're just voters, and we have every right to talk about politics just as much as anybody else does.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. But I also feel that this is an hour where we aren't thinking about that stuff.
Agreed. However, we are like 20 days away or 18 days away from this freaking enormously impactful election. So like
it's
you have to be
demoralizing time.
Realistic.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's what I was going to tell you what's not demoralizing.
Mm-hmm.
Early reports are predicting a historic voter turnout.
That makes me feel worse.
Why?
Because I feel like it's like...
How does that not... You want it to be a suppressed vote?
No, I don't want it to be a suppressed vote, but that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to make it harder, and they're trying to discourage people, and they're trying to... make it so that they're trying to interfere. And it's going to be a long, drawn-out process. Even if it's a landslide, it's still going to be... There's all this other bullshit that's going to happen, and you know that it's going to happen. And it makes me so tired when I think about that fucking guy.
I'm apologize that it turned to this conversation, but I also...
Honey, you don't have to apologize. I'm not asking for you to apologize.
But what I want for you, I have a longing for you.
Oh.
And my longing is for you to find some resources to power through this period that we're in, because it's not going to lessen before November 3rd. And I'm not saying we're going to have like a special podcast episode on, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying it is
special. Look, we're going to do a live episode, election returns.
Oh, I'm going to be so blotto. Like,
listen.
I'm not even going to be I'm not going to be of this world. Like, I'm going to be in another.
Oh my God. What a weird threat. Which you
Look,
think
I'm going to get some California edibles, totally legal. I'm going somewhere else. On the night.
Which longing do you think is stronger? Your longing for me to get resources to help me power through,
to find your inner resources,
right?
Not outer resources. I'm saying within.
I
yourself.
didn't specify.
I'm saying the resilience. And
I
the
didn't specify. You didn't let me finish my question.
Okay, but you phrased it in a way that I wanted.
I spit your words back in your face.
Which is greater, my longing for blah.
You're longing for me.
My longing for blah.
To find the resources that I need. Or you're longing for famous zaddy, Yusuf Islam.
For you to find your resources.
Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I tricked you into saying this.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment you brought up Cat Stevens, I made it a contest in my mind.
Look, here's the reality. And I'm going to lay it out. We are all...
Explain it all for us, Clarissa.
You can call me Rissy.
Is that from the show? I never saw it.
I never... you think I was a big Clarissa?
I don't know. I never heard of Rissy before as a nickname for Clarissa.
I just made it up.
Well, I don't know that.
I have a creative brain.
Honey, we're still learning things about each other. I don't know. Hey, maybe this is the day I find out you watched all of Clarissa Explains It All.
My point is, this is where we are. This is just where we are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, honey, good point. My point is, this is how we do it.
My point is, I watched Emily in Paris and you didn't.
I watched a good chunk of it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I watched a couple whole episodes of it while you were watching it.
That is such not...
I would come into the room and sit down while you were watching it. I would do whatever I was doing.
You were barely, even cognizant of anything.
They called her Le Fluke.
That was one episode.
That's right. That was one. Oh, I was supposed to list all the episodes? Her boss hated her. They didn't like her because she barely spoke any French.
That's not why they didn't like her. They didn't
like her because she's from corporate. She comes in here, she's going to change everything in their French way of life. The boss doesn't like her. She's having an affair with this married guy, the perfumier.
Right, maybe you watched
the most famous nose in Paris. Emily, of course, doesn't understand what that means. And then she has this neighbor that's the blandest guy you'd ever want to meet, who eventually she has a thing with, but he's got a girlfriend who's her friend. She's nice, but then they eventually get together. But who cares? Her name could be Rissy for all I know. There was a weird Gene Wilder guy. Guy who looked like Gene Wilder from Young Frankenstein.
When was that guy?
He was one of the guys at the magazine or whatever the fucking company was.
That guy, yeah.
The advertising agency?
Yeah, that guy. Marketing.
Yes.
What's the difference between a marketing and advertising?
I don't know. God damn. What is that? I guess the ad agency comes up with the actual content of the ads.
Is it? Oh, and the marketing is like the strategy or something?
Where they sell the shit and stuff like that. I don't know. Ugh, gross.
It's so dumb.
Do you know,
we're dumb. We don't know.
That's not why we're dumb. I'm glad we don't know.
I will say, Emily in Paris, it got a lot of heat online.
Yes.
But there was a sort of eye candy element to the show because
fucking in Paris.
But also it was I guess Patricia Fields designed the clothes and it was
Mrs. Fields designed the cookies.
Jesus Christ. I'm just saying it was not amazing in terms of a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, it was like reading a romance novel.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
Yeah.
And I think Lily Collins is very cute. I think she's a talented girl.
Yeah. She did a good job.
I mean, it's, the character is not appealing.
For me, it's very tough to get behind a character whose job is social media. That's not somebody I want to spend time with. She's constantly like taking pictures of herself and hashtagging and
Well,
and
also
it's
like, you know what is funny about it is like it's supposed to be this sexy show and she's kind of a prude.
She does seem like, for a young person,
Yeah.
she seems remarkably shocked by a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. You're online a lot. When that guy said he likes American pussy and like you just like could not like I was
Who
like
said that?
she goes on some hot date and they're like strolling around and he's like, I love American pussy and she's like, I'm leaving. And I was like,
to be fair, why did he say that?
they could barely communicate.
Oh, so it's like he didn't speak English that well? And he was like,
Nah.
I like, how you say, American pussy?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's actually really funny.
And I'm like, come on. Like, you're not going to just, like, tell him to shut the fuck up and take him home anyway. I mean, just, like, say... like, stuff a croissant in his mouth and just get through the night.
Honey, that's racist.
Is it?
No.
My point is like she's like apparently in Paris having this experience, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm too uptight for this or whatever.
Right.
Like, come on. And then she had like this asshole boyfriend at one point, and that's when I like saw my own fate. I was like, my year in Paris, I would be like, if I were 23 in Paris.
Okay, this is sounding better to me.
If I were 23 single in Paris and I ended up with the asshole boyfriend, my year would have been wasted because I would have been like, I can fix him.
Yeah.
I'd
What
totally
made
fix that
him, how was he an asshole? I didn't even,
He was
this
like-
guy I never saw.
He was actually pretty cute. I thought he was a little cuter than the drip who ran the restaurant.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Who was
there,
fine.
There was a succession of guys, French guys, who had weird hair where it was like they would wear their hair back, but then it would be so full in the back, but then also short. Like it wasn't long.
Right.
It just grew out in the back. It was wild how many guys
A lot
had
of the
that
guys
hairstyle.
looked the same.
Yes.
Anyway, the asshole boyfriend was the asshole because he was a snob and he looked down his nose at her friends and he was like, "You're not from Paris," and he was like,
Wait, who were her friends?
Well,
She had the nanny.
Camille, the beautiful
The blonde one. Okay.
Who in my personal opinion, Camille, the character of Camille, was like the standout one.
Like maybe the most interesting character on the show?
Well, she was the most winsome. And had a very like kind of sweet and real quality, like because she wasn't like a wallflower, but she had just a genuine sweetness and openness. And her character, I thought, whenever she came around, I was excited because she sort of enjoyed everything.
Right.
And there was a positivity there.
That sounds nice.
But Emily, who carries the show, her character is like very much a little arrogant. Like she's like she'll get into scrapes. And she'll be like, I can fix this. But she doesn't know how she's going to fix it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that is not a normal quality.
No, it's not. She also, what's so weird is.
That's not normal.
I feel like this is a holdover from 50s romantic comedies like Rock Hudson, Doris Day, where a lot of them were set in the advertising world. Like that was a sort of sexy occupation back then.
Okay.
And so they're still doing that kind of thing today where it's like, is that I don't know. It's weird to me. Like to be somebody who is from the marketing department.
I mean,
she works for corporate. So
Mad
like she's
Men.
sent from
Mad Men had.
Yeah, but they were like the fucking nihilists. You know what I mean?
Right,
These were
that's
like people
true.
that had been through a war that were drinking themselves to death. You know what I mean? We weren't supposed to be like, I want to be like that guy.
I gotta rewatch Mad Men, man.
This is so she works for a corporate.
Yes.
She's sent to oversee this office or whatever.
Oh, and at the last minute.
Yeah.
Because someone else couldn't go.
Yes.
And they were like, "Can you go?"
So it's like it's a weird person to be expected to root for. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not who you would root for. Like if you showed up at the cool French office and they were like, "This is how we do shit. Like we don't come in until 10, we smoke a lot and we talk about sex." Then all of a sudden American corporate girl comes in and is like, "I'm going to whip this place into shape." And we're da-da-da-da. You like that's the person in the workplace sitcom that is typically the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like WKRP or whatever. Like
exactly.
Like
yes.
who is the blonde in the DJ?
Dr. Johnny Fever.
Dr. Johnny Fever
Yes.
isn't the one that he's the one that you root for. You don't root for the corporate whatever.
Can I say
you know
something?
what I'm saying?
Here's what's weird about that show.
Wait, Emily or WKRP?
WKRP.
Okay.
Is that the show starts as the story of Andy Travis, who is a guy who shows up at WKRP, which is a failing radio station.
Okay.
And what he wants to do is turn it into a successful station. He wants to bring rock and roll to the station, right? So he tells Johnny Fever, like, I want you to play rock and roll music. And Johnny Fever's like, great, because he's down on his luck.
He's like, finally.
Yes.
Someone who gets it.
But then as the show goes on, Andy Travis is like, now he's saying to Johnny Fever, will you please play the stuff that's on the playlist? Like, these are the popular songs. Play these songs. And Johnny Fever's just doing his own thing. And so he becomes like, it's weird.
It's a
weirdly subtle thing. I'm realizing this now that they did on this show,
right,
on a half-hour sitcom.
I have to rewatch WKRP now.
I think it really holds up. I loved that show when I was a kid. And I rewatched it.
I loved it when I was a kid.
It was like KDOC or somebody was running it in the afternoons, like years ago, before I met you, dear. And I would watch it.
It's okay. You can have a life.
Thank you.
Before
my year in Paris, I would watch it every day, and I was amazed at how well it held up. It's like it's real character comedy,
sure,
you know?
Which is my favorite.
Yes,
and ensemble comedy.
Yes,
there's no one like star. I mean, it
yes.
is definitely a ragtag group of weirdos, and that's what drives the world. Like you're like that is totally my favorite genre.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV, before we go, because it's getting to be that time.
Why?
I know, honey. I know.
Who is making us?
Nobody's making us. You want to just keep talking?
I don't know. I don't know what people's appetites are. Listen, I can't even believe people tune in.
I know, right? It's wild.
I can't believe we're still doing it.
I can't believe we're still doing it.
That was an accident. That was not.
I know. It didn't, but it sounded like.
Also, sometimes I'm worried if I'm ever called upon to play drunk, I won't be able to do it.
I just had to play drunk in something, and I think I did a pretty cartoony job of it. But it was a sitcom, and it was like, this is all right.
Some actors,
but I like as soon as I was done, I was like, I probably could have done that better.
Dude, some actors are amazing at playing drunk.
I want to say,
amazing.
I will say this every time. Some of the best drunk acting I've ever seen. Richard Jenkins in The Man Who Wasn't There, Coen Brothers movie that people kind of forgot about.
I don't think I saw that one.
He does a drunk scene.
I think
on
Richard
a porch.
Jenkins is amazing of an actor.
Amazing. He's amazing. But he does like the best drunk. It's so real and it's so funny. Anyway, let's talk about.
Oh wait,
I want to talk about The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh wait, were you done with WKRP and all that?
Yeah. Watch WKRP if you can.
Okay.
Find out where it is. It's a good show.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, Paul, watched Haunting of Hill House last Halloween that it came out, or was it the year
2
before?
years ago.
Okay, so 2 years ago, Haunting of Hill House came out, and we watched it, and it was really good, and we loved it.
I watched it twice.
And then he was like, I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Haunting
Go, you do you, boo.
Boo because of Spooky. What are you doing?
And then he was like, then Haunting of Bly Manor came out, and he was all like, OMG. These are the same people. That
my ghost.
They made the Haunting of Hill House, and I can't wait. And I was like, okay. And so we did watch it because of, October, spooky time.
It's the spooky season.
Yeah.
I loved it. I will say it's not as, in terms of SPMs, spooks per minute. It is lower than
slower spooks per minute.
Fewer spooks per minute than Haunting of Hill House, but it's very trippy. A lot of time shifting, which I'm not always a fan of.
Right.
When it just feels arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
This absolutely, I felt like it was justified, and it gives you an unsettled feeling.
Right.
It was so well done.
Nice cast.
Very nice. A lot of the same people from Hill House
cast.
are in it. Henry Thomas, who was in E.T. He was Elliot in E.T.
Yes, and you should look up his audition tape for E.T. It's on YouTube.
I've never seen that.
Studied it in acting classes before. It's just and
he got it, right?
He got it. It's just so pure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so I don't know, as an artist, as an actor, just to have absolutely no impediments to your emotions and your feelings. That is pure storytelling. Mm-hmm. That is storytelling in its purest. Mm-hmm. And a lot of children are very good at it because they're not fighting against as many blocks and masks and stuff. I don't know. It's just it's lovely.
I will have to look that up.
And he's become a terrific adult.
He's doing it. He's doing an accent in this. He's so much fun to watch. He's really great. Everybody's great. It's very emotional. I loved it.
You loved it more than Hill House, or
no?
I liked Hill House.
They're very different. I think they're very different, but I love them the same.
Hill House was terrifying. You were scared all the time.
The Hill House was constant dread.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this is not that. It's different. It's different. It really makes you feel. It's more unsettling. More I don't know where I am in time.
Yeah, that's.
But it's they take care of you. It's not It's really well done. It's very well done.
I did love the children in it.
They were adorable.
They were so adorable.
Flora and Miles.
I wanted to know about them, on the set and stuff. Was everyone okay, it's going to look spooky right now.
I think about that too.
But it's
where it's you're going to see a faceless thing. And you have to have a scene with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're okay, or whatever. And they're so game or whatever. I don't know. I just imagine that sometimes, how they achieve that kind of stuff.
There's a great picture, and I will post it, of the girl who plays the young version of Victoria Pedretti in Haunting of Hill House. There's a scene where the adult actor is in a coffin, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when the father looks, he sees her as a little girl in the coffin.
Okay.
And so they're both on the set. So there's a picture of the little girl posing next to the adult actor in the coffin, and she's making a whoa, I'm dead face.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It's hilarious.
I know. That's so cute.
It's very cute.
Well, they did a good job. Do you have any other recommendations? I guess we are kind of winding down. We did get some awesome pictures. People are ordering our merchandise on Kinship.
Yes, thank you.
KinshipGoods.com.
Yeah, and we got more stuff that's coming
down
out.
the road.
But thank you so much.
I think we're announcing a new product next week.
Well, a little teaser for the teaser. It is next week, I think.
Yeah, it's next week that a new product.
My only other recommendation is Open Mike Eagle, his new album.
Yes.
You're in the video. I want to get the order right.
In the video.
It's a 3-word title, and I want to get the order
right.
It's
on our Instagram, which
Hold
is stayfhomekins.
Hold on a second.
We also have a Twitter at stayfhomekins. We also have a Gmail at stayfhomekins@gmail.com. You can buy our merch at kinshipgoods.com. Send us pictures.
There we go.
Okay, he's got it.
The name of the album is Anime Trauma Divorce.
Anime Trauma Divorce.
Yes, and it's I just downloaded it. I haven't heard it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
That's great.
I have all his albums. He's an amazing artist, and you can see that video that I did.
On what, like maybe the hottest day of the year? It was not the hottest day of the year. It was the hottest weekend of the year.
Yeah, it was the hottest weekend of the year. It was for at the time. It was the hottest day of the year. I think it's been beaten since. In a studio with no air conditioning.
Yeah.
But Anime Trauma and Divorce by Open Mike Eagle. That's my recommendation for this week. Honey, do you have a recommendation?
Do I? Shit.
I mean, nothing.
I started a new podcast today, and I only listened to one episode. So is that really a recommendation?
Did you like the episode that you listened to?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to more. It's about like this con artist in Hollywood. We're not professional. We couldn't be on television like this, could we?
No, until they'd have all the shit for you. You know what I mean? We would be reading a teleprompter.
Okay, it's called Chameleon Hollywood Con Queen.
There you go. You heard it. Chameleon Hollywood Con Queen.
And it's not like I am like endorsing the full series. Just know that I've only heard the first episode.
This is not a full-throated recommendation.
I'm intrigued. Let's
You're
just
intrigued.
say,
yes,
I'm intrigued because I listen to like a lot of true crime podcasts. Like earlier, like last year, I listened to that LA one about the missing actress. What was that one called?
Don't remember because I was not the one who listened to it.
To Live and Die in LA.
To Live and Die in LA.
And that one was bleak, but it was a well-told story. To Live and Die in LA. I liked it, and this has it's different in a way. It's like it's about this con. I mean, like I'm not giving anything away. You know, right away.
You also only listen to one episode, so
right.
There's only so much you can spoil.
But what's so funny is like it's a very elaborate con, and unfortunately, it's targeted toward middle class, like journeyman Hollywood people. So it's not, so it's more egregious, right? I mean, any con is egregious. I'm just saying, like, they are preying on vulnerable people.
Yes. And
that aren't going to bounce back quickly
which really sucks.
And I think a lot of
a con where wealthy people get swindled, I think that's great.
I mean, I think cons are horrific, but some people's lives are shattered. It's not just your psyche.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have a cushion, you could bounce back from something, right? But anyway, I think a lot of cons are geared toward middle working.
Yes,
because
they take advantage of people
that's right. They don't have the resources
at the end of their rope. Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't have the resources to fight something.
So provisional recommendation for that.
But what I can't figure out yet because it's unclear is what the con was. Like it's clearly a bigger story, and it's like unraveling. So I can't wait for the second episode.
I will also re-recommend This Sounds Serious, which is the parody
true crime podcast. People were appreciative of that recommendation on our Twitter. Like they really loved it.
This season is about a Hollywood con, and it's really funny.
Oh, it is. That's
a
fake con. It's not a real.
No, it's a parody.
It's a fictional podcast.
Fictional.
Yes.
Also, very quick recommendation.
Oh my god, a double.
I know, double cuckoo. This is the longest episode.
This is messed up. We're going off the rails.
See, now you wanted to talk forever. I was the bad guy. Now we're both the bad guy when you hear the second cuckoo.
Here's the thing. I just want to do good. know what's wrong.
God.
I don't know what's wrong.
I just want to do good.
I don't know what's wrong or right.
I just want to do good.
I just want to do good.
Very quick recommendation for Teenage Bounty Hunters on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. We are
great show. We're halfway through.
Unfortunately,
one season got canceled.
Pissed.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the cliffhanger for season 1, and I'm already pissed it's been canceled.
Such a fun show. It's like such a great cast, and yeah, that's really a shame. For some reason, HBO is doing a season 2 of The Vow. I'm saying, why not pick up?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're doing a season 2.
It's got to be a different cult, right?
Oh, you mean like...
Like Dirty John?
Dirty John, the Betty Broderick story.
Is it? Is it a different cult?
The picture had the same 3 assholes that are on the case. I don't know. I don't know.
What are you talking
about? Saying HBO pick up Teenage Bounty Hunters. We don't need to see any more Keith Raniere.
I would not mind seeing the jail part.
Yeah, just him in jail. Just... What if he's great in jail and he gets them all to join next year?
I have to pontificate for 5.
Oh my God!
5 seconds on Vow.
Cuckoo, stand down and stand by.
It was all worth it for that. It was all worth it for that. That was the nugget.
All right.
That was the nugget.
Do you still want to pontificate, or do you want to roll it over to next episode?
Just The Vow, because people talking about The Vow. Here's the thing about The Vow. People are like dunking so hard on the victims of The Vow.
Yes.
100% can recognize the annoyance factor of the victims of The Vow.
Yes.
Of NXIVM or whatever. I fundamentally disagree with focusing your ire on annoying people who were swindled.
Yeah, I do. Here's what I will say. I agree that broadly,
yes,
you should not mock people who were in a cult because that's terrible. You know,
I think it's kind of mean.
Their brains were tampered with, whether or not
anybody's brain can be tampered with.
Whether or
your brain, whoever you are out there sitting there at your computer being like, I would never, he's so ugly.
It's very easy to say
Someone can fuck with your brain who is totally different angle, different.
Yes.
But people don't think that.
No, they don't. That said, I know that there are, I'm not as familiar with the whole story as some people are, because there's has been covered other places before the HBO series.
Yes,
some people feel like it lets sort of the stars of the show off a little easy, the people that realize they were in this cult.
Does it though? They're getting dragged online.
No, but the show's not doing that.
This show presents them in a certain way that opens them up to criticism.
Yes, exactly.
So the show in a way is doing that. Because editing-wise, you could make people look bulletproof.
Well, I think that's what that's not what people are saying. That's not the issue that people have. The issue that people have is, this is too late to get into this. The issue that people have is that these people were higher ups in this organization. And the show it's not that the show is not looking favorably on them. It's that the show could be looking even harsher on them. Anyway.
Listen, I get it, but when you're a whistleblower, you may have your hands a little dirty.
Understood. That's very
That's
well
just
said.
how it goes with
very well said.
The whistleblowing profession.
That's very well said.
When you're a whistleblower, you're not sitting there in the corner with your Bible going, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Boss Man. My Bible verse tells me I can't do such and such. So what happens is you go down the road of evil doing. And then,
oh my God,
you have the epiphany and you're like, wait a minute, this ain't who I am. I was not raised like this. I got to pick up a whistle and blow into it. And so what happens is you're like, my hands are fucking dirty. I get it. However, I'm saying enough is enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to look like a fucking asshole idiot. And I will allow myself to look like the asshole idiot and also risk revenge from this psychopath to save future lives.
Right.
That's not nothing.
It's not nothing. Okay.
That's my take on whistleblowing.
Great take. I agree with that take.
He's saying that because he wants to sign off.
But I do agree. What are you doing with the... All right. So we're almost at...
This is a preview of how...
We're almost at 90 minutes.
It's a preview of how drunk I'm going to be on November 3rd, but it's not really. Because it's going to be, way more than this. It's going to be a lot more.
All right.
Like...
Noted. Does anybody have a place I can stay?
Some tinctures, some gummies, some...
Tinctures?
Vapes.
What is this, Red Dead Redemption?
I don't vape in COVID times.
Hey, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't vape in COVID times. All right. That is the title of the episode.
Listen.
Thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. You can find us at stayfhomekins on Instagram and Twitter. You can write to us at stayfhomekins@gmail.com. We really appreciate you listening. We love all of you. Stay safe out there. Oh, I tipped the catchphrase. I tipped the sign off.
Also, don't forget to visit kinshipgoods.com.
Visit kinshipgoods.com to get yourself
merch.
some merch and to see what else they have there because they have a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, they do. Someone bought a vote shirt.
Great. And please
From
do
it.
vote.
Yeah.
Make your voting plan. Vote early if you can. And we will all get through this together. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sane, and stay home.